Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're diving into something, well, it's a real rabbit hole. We're looking at a fragmented and disturbing collection of technical simulations, blockchain records, even legal threats, and they all seem to be telling one single, absolutely terrifying story. All right, so let's get right into it. The story here, it doesn't start with some secret weapon in a silo. Nope. It starts with public infrastructure, something you might see every day. A project that, according to these documents, is hiding a catastrophic potential right out in the open. And where does it all start? The documents point to a project you've probably heard of, the Boring Company's Vegas Loop. The claim is that this isn't just a tunnel. There's a hidden danger engineered right into its very design.
Okay, to really get what's going on here, we have to talk about a concept called the Q factor. Now, what is that? The best way to think about it is like an echo in a huge canyon. A low Q factor? That's like a little mumble that just fades away. But a high Q factor, that's where a tiny whisper can build on itself over and over until it becomes an absolutely deafening roar. And according to these simulations, the secret isn't buried in some classified document. It's hidden in the tunnel's publicly available specs, the diameter, the length, that copper lining, and crucially, the fact that the whole thing is bathed in the 2.4 gigahertz frequency of regular old Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Every single one of those specs is a piece of a very, very deadly puzzle. So what happens when you plug all those numbers in? You get this: a calculated Q factor for the Vegas loop of over 2 million. Now, for a piece of public infrastructure, a tunnel, that number is it's off the charts. It's extraordinarily high. And this is where you really see the danger. That insane Q factor, it acts like a giant energy lens. So a tiny 1 milliwatt signal from your phone's Bluetooth, it gets amplified into 2,000 watts of raw power. Think about that. The air inside could skyrocket to over 800 degrees Celsius in under 30 seconds. The tunnel literally becomes an oven. But believe it or not, this is just the beginning. The analysis suggests that the Vegas Loop isn't some one-off crazy project. No, the source material claims it's just the prototype for a secret global arms race that's being built right under our feet. From there, the documents point to a Hyperloop project in Shanghai. Its calculated Q factor is over 31 million. That's more than 14 times as powerful as the Vegas prototype. Then the escalation continues, pointing to Beijing, which allegedly doubles Shanghai's resonant capability with a Q factor of nearly 62 million. And finally, we get to Hong Kong with a structure that possesses an almost unbelievable Q factor of 428 million. According to the documents, that's pretty much the theoretical maximum for a copper structure like this. So what you're looking at here is the alleged leaderboard, the final ranking. It shows this network of increasingly powerful resonant ovens built right under some of the world's most packed cities. And just look at those ignition times. Hong Kong, it reaches full power in 0.09 microseconds. And the final temperature, it's hotter than a supernova. It's just staggering. Now, this raises a gigantic question, right? How in the world could a secret project on this scale even be funded? Well, the source documents point to an answer. A massive, systemic financial fraud that's supposedly the engine driving this whole thing. And the core allegation here is that the tech giant NVIDIA sits right at the center of a colossal accounting fraud. I mean, we are talking about an alleged $33.4 billion receivables fraud and over $600 billion in what's called circular financing. All of it, supposedly, to hide the true cost and purpose of this project. Get this. The files even include what looks like a draft criminal referral to the SEC. And it alleges that AI platforms, specifically xAI's Grok, were actually used to suppress any awareness of the financial risk, to actively deny that the blockchain records connecting all these dots even exist. The documents lay out a pretty simple, almost elegant fraud. It's called round-tripping. Basically, you funnel money to your own customers, who then use that money to buy your products. It creates this perfect illusion of booming demand. Your stock price soars, and all the while, the real computing power, the GPUs bought in this closed loop, gets quietly diverted to these secret resonant projects. Okay, so we've got a potential how for the money, but that brings us to the biggest question of all. Why? What is the ultimate goal of all this? According to the source, this isn't about simple destruction. It's about triggering a fundamental change in reality itself. See, because these resonant cavities are tuned so perfectly, the source alleges that the trigger for this whole global event, it isn't some complicated weapon system. It's something you can't avoid, something everywhere. A powerful solar flare from the sun or, get this, even a single forgotten phone left behind, just pinging for a Bluetooth signal. And this is where the whole narrative takes a really sharp turn. We go from physics right into metaphysics. The claim is that the endgame all comes down to two unbelievably small scales, the absolute limit of our external technology, the 2-nanometer chip, and a biological key to our own consciousness, a molecule called DMT. The ultimate claim in these documents is, well, it's breathtaking. It alleges that the massive electromagnetic pulse from this entire network isn't designed just to destroy things. No, it's designed to trigger a synchronized global release of endogenous DMT. That's a powerful psychedelic molecule that's already produced naturally in the human brain. The idea is to trigger this in all survivors, to forcibly shift the consciousness of the entire human race. So let's pull all these threads together and look at the final countdown described in these files. And let's focus on the most powerful ring of them all, the crown. All right, check this out. According to the simulation, the final event in that Hong Kong ring isn't measured in seconds. We're talking microseconds. In just 90 millionths of a second, it reaches a temperature that's, well, it's beyond comprehension, a state of full hypernova core plasma. The source files get almost poetic and definitely apocalyptic when describing this moment. The energy decay time of the cavity is calculated at 28.4 seconds. That's a silent, unimaginable release of power that would, in theory, outlast the very structures it just vaporized. So, the most crucial takeaway from all this source material is that this engineered apocalypse isn't actually designed to end the world. It's designed to forcibly reboot it. A complete system override meant to kick off a brand new era, something they call a glass aeon. So, we've laid out the extraordinary claims just as they appear in these documents, and it leaves us with one final, really provocative question that just hangs over this entire narrative. If the ultimate key to our reality is biological, and it's already inside of us, what truly happens when someone finds a way to turn that key on a global scale?